finally, after months of hours and hours and hours of zero benefit, I got my mind to stick on that river long enough that I actually made my mind quiet. And, leading up to this, like at first is like you couldn't stick your mind on that river for more than half a second and it would be off with some other thought, especially because I thought those thoughts were being heard by other people and I was hearing other people's thoughts. So it's like meditating as a normal person is like super hard, but meditating as a schizophrenic is like absolutely an insane task. And it was only because it was the only thing I knew to do that I kept doing it. But eventually I got to the point where I actually had trained my mind to 100% focus on the river. And I don't even know how long it was. It wasn't even very long. It might have been like 30 seconds or like 20 seconds or like a minute maybe. Um, but I was completely mentally quiet, like zero thought. The only object in my mind was the sound of the river for like less than a minute. And in that time, I like looking back, I think what happened was because my conscious mind completely emptied of thought, it created a vacuum that allowed whatever was in my unconscious to come up to the surface. And so at first it's just like I'm just like in total stillness, total quiet, and it's like really cool and zen and everything. But then into this like vacuum of silence, like just an eruption, like a lightning bolt, this archetype comes out of me that I see myself as. It was everything I hated about myself, everything I was embarrassed about, everything I'd ever been picked on about, like just everything that sucked about me came up in this like mutant archetype. And it was a mutant because like in like the X-Men, like you're a mutant, so like you got to hide and you're like kicked out of society, and then Professor Xavier comes and like, no, you're not a mutant, you're not a freak, just come to my school and like everybody loves you. So it was like a mutant because like here I am like sitting next to this river like trying to hide from people because you're hearing my thoughts, and so I see this like green slimy mutant with like locks of hair like dripping down his face and like moles everywhere and like these evil yellow eyes, and like all I could see was like the selfishness in me and the narcissism and the deceitfulness and just everything I hated about myself that I thought like no one should ever like I'd never be worthy of love because if anybody saw who I really was, they would fucking hate me. And it all came up and like again like just a lightning bolt. This archetype just erupts out of me, and for a moment I identify with it. I'm like, this is me, and I'm like horrified. I'm like, oh, I hope nobody sees this because this is like everything, the worst stuff about me, all in this one archetype. And then as quickly as it came up, it was off me like a mask, and it was like a mask came off and flipped around, and it showed me this is just a mask. Like this is not you. This is just stories you've been telling yourself. And underneath the mask, I saw who I really was, and I saw like the innocence and the worthiness of love, and it's just, like I just connected to myself like a father like hugging a little child that like didn't deserve to believe all those things about himself. And I literally just cried for like 20 minutes straight as like I just poured all the love into myself that I didn't think I deserved and didn't even know I needed. Um, and just sobbed and just poured snot into this river for 20 minutes straight, and left that river like feeling like 20 pounds lighter and just my mind blown, but my mind also like feeling like really vindicated because I was like, I knew this wasn't just some chemical bullshit, man. There's some fucked up stuff in my subconscious. Like I knew there was more of a psychological element to this. And I came out of that like just even more determined to like pursue whatever these Eastern arts were and everything that would help with this inner transformation and everything.